Huge mobs of left-wingers took to the streets of Hamburg, Germany during the G20 conference over the weekend, starting violent riots that injured hundreds of people and destroyed the livelihood of the locals as part of the left's ceaseless attempt to bring peace and economic justice to the world. The leftists were protesting something in the hopes of establishing something else, or perhaps raising awareness of something, and somehow making the world a better place by wearing masks and hitting people with sticks before setting fire to their stores. The rioters described themselves as anti-fascists, the word fascist here meaning someone who oppresses people with violence, and the word anti meaning absolutely nothing. Left-wing anarchist hooligan von Dungberger was kind enough to take time off from beating a woman into the pavement to answer our questions about his motives. Von Dungberger said, quote, "Unbridled capitalism has elevated many nations to untold wealth and freedom, lifting people around the world out of poverty and leading to advances in technology, farming, and education never before seen in history. This must stop and be replaced by socialism, which makes everything mediocre and miserable. Then, at last, everyone will be as unhappy as I am because my mother never loved me and I'm overweight," unquote. Mr. von Dungberger then took a picture of himself protesting capitalism with his iPhone 7 and returned to beating up innocent people for the greater good. Another protester, Francois Naziface, said he was burning stores and driving hard-working locals into poverty in order to give voice to the complaints of marginalized sexual perverts. Mr. Naziface said, quote, "Here in the West, we must have serious discussions about men who pretend they're women, as if that were some kind of a thing instead of a mental illness that had been turned into a political issue because we have no real problems. If a child who has been designated as a boy plays with a doll, his body must be mutilated and injected with destructive hormones so that he grows up psychotic enough to believe that gender is mutable before killing himself. Only then will there be sexual justice in the world," unquote. Yet another rioter we interviewed was Fernando Gonzalez Riviera Diego Fernando, nicknamed El Useless Stupido, who rested from throwing rocks at the police long enough to tell us why he was rioting. El Stupido said, quote, "Basically, I am a criminal who enjoys hurting people and destroying things, and so I became a leftist because leftism offered me the best opportunities for travel and promotion," unquote. And a final rioter we spoke to was New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, who left his city during a vigil for a murdered police officer in order to join the Hamburg protests against something, and to establish a better something somewhere other than the city he's supposed to be running. De Blasio said, quote, "I am here in solidarity with these rioters, thugs, and criminals because I am an idiotic lowlife and a leftist. But I repeat myself," unquote. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.